A very good night to you. I'm Lisa Lord, and in our news, Barbados and other regional stakeholders discuss the CARICOM single market and economy. The government moves to enforce the ban on plastic use. A prominent local businessman makes a presentation to the Public Accounts Committee. And in sports, the Windies women lose the second ODI against India.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC Newsnight, starting now.
And in our top story, Prime Minister Mia Motley has been speaking about the importance of a united CARICOM at a public town hall meeting entitled the CSME, What's in It for Me? Ms. Motley told the audience in the Walcott Warner Theatre at the Arrow Centre for Creative Imagination, integration is critically important to the region's progression. She says what's in it for all of us is everything.
Your ability to be able to fight off the worst impacts of climate crisis depends on us coming together as one and raising our voice, and even then, there is no guarantee. Your ability to have a larger market will be critical if you're going to drive down your prices and to be able to enhance your competitiveness to allow for greater profitability. Your ability to be able for us to have the levels of functional cooperation that have been quietly working for us without any big set of noise, as we have seen with CXC, as we have seen in other areas of public health and in the testing of our labs. These things are working for us. But for some reason, we don't believe that if we are stronger together there, that we can also be stronger together in the context of the single market and the single economy.
Prime Minister Motley, the incoming CARICOM chairman, believes it is time heads of government come together to discuss the region's affairs more frequently.
Almost every 2 or 3 weeks, the heads of government of the European Union are meeting. But we believe that a smaller group of people needs to meet only twice a year. And what happens in between the two meetings then depends on what happens at the subcommittee level, or potentially if there is a crisis. That, in my view, has to change if we are going to bring our movement into fully the third decade of the 21st century, which in fact starts in less than 60 days.
Well, earlier this morning, a regional stakeholders consultation on the CSME was held here in Barbados at CXE headquarters. CARICOM Secretary General Ambassador Erwin LaRocque was among those who addressed that meeting. He noted that while the CSME is still the best vein for regional member states to see sustainable economic growth and development, the problem of implementing recommendations still needs to be addressed.
A lot of technical work is taking place. But I must confess that I am less than satisfied with this implementation. We have been asking ourselves, what more can we as a Secretariat do to facilitate implementation at the Member States level, whose capacity is severely constrained in the various areas of work? Now I am asking, how can you help us to bridge the implementation gap? And to be quite frank, we need your help.
And Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM David Comachong was also present at that meeting. He says that greater consultation is needed to allow CSME to fulfill its true potential.
It seems to me that if we are to succeed in building our CSME, the consultative mechanisms that CARICOM decided upon several years ago simply have to be implemented and made to work. I speak of the BLAC, the Business, Labor and Civil Society Consultative Council. When I came to CARICOM, I heard member states with all kinds of excuses that they had set them up in the past, but they had not worked, so they were no longer in existence, and I felt that that was wrong.
Well, businesses which have continued to use and sell petrol-based single-use plastics such as cups and cutlery following the July 1st ban have been given a final warning. Maritime Affairs and Blue Economy Minister Kirk Humphrey says while government allowed for a transition period, more than enough time has passed. He says those now found in breach of the law could face tens of thousands of dollars in fines.
The time has come for that to stop. We said there was going to be a transition period. We appreciated that not everybody would get it right in the first instance, but that's more than enough time. And the time has come now where we will put the law to test. And the law says, as it stands, that there's a $50,000 fine on summary conviction for persons who are still using these single-use plastics, who have them up for sale in their stores, and so on. People who try to import them into the country, those days are done. And I'm advising the importers, I'm advising the retailers and the wholesalers to stop it, because the use of petroleum-based products in Barbados, the ones that we identified as being banned, are banned.
Well, Minister Humphrey was a guest on CBC TV 8's The People's Business. Now, on January 1st, 2020, the ban on single-use plastic bags will also go into effect. While the bans will bring significant benefits to the environment, Minister Humphrey says they have also given Barbadians a chance to show their inventive spirit.
I'm proud to say that most of the manufacturers, 3 of the major ones, are making plastic bags now, but from an organic base. So they're either using a cornstarch resin or PLA resin, so that they're making genuine biodegradable bags. And you're going to see those biodegradable bags on the market. Those bags are still going to be allowed in use because they're not petroleum based. And the innovation and just the capacity to respond that we've seen in that sector fills me with joy, and it fills me with hope that Barbados can continue to be innovative as we try to flesh out a blue economy.
The Public Accounts Committee has been focusing on irregularities with invoices submitted to the Transport Board by local automobile company TransTech Inc. The irregularities were highlighted in the Auditor General's report. Now, the session in the Senate, chaired by Opposition Leader Bishop Joseph Atherley, saw TransTech boss Lloyd Brathwaite responding to questions. He was accompanied by his lawyer, the former Attorney General in the last DLP administration, Adriel Brathwaite. When questioned by Senator Lucille Moe about cases of the board being overcharged by over $128,000 between 2014 and 2016, the TransTech head said that the process of reconciliation was not yet complete and described the events as errors.
Can you say if in your investigations to address this matter, if you discovered any other instances where this double invoicing may have occurred?
Mom, these are errors, and these happen in any invoicing transactions, and we also look for a pattern. We also look to see if there was a pattern that was established in dealing with these invoices, and none has been. It's just an error. This here happens, remind you, these are dated in 2014 and in 2016 respectively. There'll always be issues with invoicing one way or the other.
But the question was a specific one. Did you discover any other instances besides these 4 during your due diligence?
No, ma'am.
Well, the issue of the board being required to pay for several transmissions to be changed on the same buses was raised by Senator Lisa Cummins.
Another bus had 4 within approximately 10 months, and yet another bus had 4 installations in 5 months.
I would hope that the members of this committee, indeed the Auditor General, can see the most in-depth report here that I've seen from the Transport Board for the period May 2016 to 2017, the bus rehabilitation report. Indeed, an engine normally outlive a transmission 3 times. We have greater frequencies of engines here in this report. This is empirical data from the Transport Board Quality Assurance. Nothing is mentioned in the Auditor General's report.
And the Public Accounts Committee is set to meet again on November the 25th.